Well, lads, another season of Drag Race has passed, and it's time for us, or rather, me, to talk about who I think should win this season, based on what was shown to us on the show. If you haven't seen videos of mine of similar format or similar subject, let's briefly go over how we're going to do this. However, if you have, here's the timestamp for when we actually start talking about the three categories. Basically, in order for a queen to be able to win a season, first, she has to have been in the bottom two never or only once. This is not an official rule, of course, but every single regular season's winner has never been in the bottom two more than once, and in seasons like 7 and 11, where the winner wasn't statistically the best, they still won because the queens with a better score lip-synced for their life twice each. Or there was another reason, but for the sake of continuity, let's go with this one. Thankfully, all three queens that are in the top 3 here, Bag of Chips, Divina De Campo, and Vivienne, passed the aforementioned criteria. Now that we know that all 3 are eligible to win, let's see who was shown as the best. We have 3 categories to look at. 1. Who had the highest PP score, or points per episode score. Here, we take each queen's placement, episode per episode, with this point system add up their scores, and then divide the overall score with the amount of episodes they competed in, hence points per episode. There are 2 instances that are a little muddy, meaning that some people think a queen was placed in one position, the others think the other. When we get to those queens, I'm just gonna tell you how I counted their placement for the said instances and why. Next, who was on the top of the competition the most? Now, many people are confused with the phrasing top of the competition, even though I pretty much always explain it. I usually show you how I calculate it, but some people, man... Listen, Coco Mix figured it out and spelt it out for you. I don't see why the rest wouldn't. But just in case, once I say the results of this category, I will show you exactly what I'm doing with it. The last category has to do with the storylines, or rather, who had the best storyline, or even better for this season, who was given the winner storyline. I will talk a little more on the storylines of this season by the end of the video, just because there were some copy-paste things that we were shown. So, the first category. Let's actually rank the queens, of course based on their PPE scores, in order to see how they ranked based on how they actually did, and then also see who were the biggest loser and the biggest winner of the season. In the last place we have, of course, Gothi Kendall with 0 points. Nothing more to say here. In the 9th place we have Vinegar Strokes, who originally placed 8, so she has a -1 to her position. Next up is Cheryl Hall with a PPE score of 1.857142, where these 6 decimals are recurring decimals. Now, the first muddy sort of placement is hers in the 5th episode, so the top 6 episode. There, she was a part of the losing team, but she got mostly good critiques from the judges, so a lot of people think that she was high there. I have to disagree just on the logic of there being 6 queens and 6 placements. Because in the winning team, all 3 queens won the Maxi Challenge, the 3 highest placements are taken, so the highest that Cheryl, who was in the losing team, could place is low. This is even more obvious had there only been 1 winner from the winning team. If you disagree with this and can back up your opinion with proper arguments, I would love for my opinion to be challenged. But for my videos and my scoreboards, she never placed above safe. Cheryl is 4th originally, which is why the value to her placement here is -4. We can definitely conclude that she's the biggest loser of the season, but not of the entire show. That honor still belongs to Coco Montrese and Darian Lake. In the 7th place, we have the lovely Scaredy Cat with a score of 2 points per episode. Her score would have been lower by 0.5 points had she not won the mini challenge in the 1st episode. She's also at a +2, and I'm pretty sure that she will be the biggest winner of the season, and I'm gonna explain why when we get to the top 3. Also, how interesting. She was in 2 episodes, her PP score is 2, she has a value of +2 to her score. 2s, man, you know. In the 6th place, we have Something Wong, who originally placed 7th, so she's at a +1. Her PPE score is 2.25. In the 5th place, we have Crystal, who's also at a +1, and whose PPE score is 2.4. Her and Divina, in some people's minds, placed high in the 2nd episode, which does not make sense. They were part of the losing team. They cannot place above safe. In the fourth place, we have what I assume is going to be the miscongeniality of the season. Of course, if there even is going to be one. Blue Hydrangea, with a PP score of 2.5. She's also at a +1. It's interesting to see that not a single queen that's not in the top 3 has a PP score of 3 or over 3. This means that basically the 7 queens that are not our top 3 overall were constantly in the low tier. Did this happen for the fairest reasons? I would not like to comment on that now. We're being objective today. If you care to hear my opinion on this, watch my reviews. Thank you. Oh, also follow me on Twitter and Instagram and subscribe and please. Ew. Thank you. You don't have to do that, but I've noticed it helps me when I say it. So, out of the top 3, the worst queen is Bag of Chips, with a PP score of 3.571428, where these last 6 decimals are recurring. Now, the only way that Scaredy Cat could not be the biggest winner of the season is if Baga gets the crown, which I highly doubt is going to happen, because then her score would be +2 and would count her as the bigger winner of the two. But also, had the season been judged a bit more fairly, I don't think Baga's score would have been this high. In the second place, so the queen that doesn't win this category, we have Devivian, with a PP score of 4. Yeah, 4. Devivian's score is the same as Nina Flowers, who didn't win her season, and as Tyra Sanchez's, who did. So the winner of this category, and the queen with the second highest PP score in Drag Race history, Drag Race Thailand not included because of their different ranking system, same with the All-Star seasons, is Divina De Campo, with a PP score of 4.142857, where, since we're dividing by 7, the 6 decimals are recurring. Just to repeat myself, Divina wins this category, Cheryl Hole is the biggest loser of the season, whereas Scaredy Cat is the biggest winner. For the second category, I will first give you the results of the category, and then I will show you the table I made with the highlighted top queen of the competition for each episode. Interestingly enough, only the top 3 of this season were the tops of the competition throughout the season. The queen that dominated the least out of the 3 was Divina, who only had the highest score in the final 7th episode. Final competitive episode, that is. Next, a queen that was the best for 3 episodes, 2 of those were shared with the queen in the first place, is Baga. Baga was the top of the competition in episode 5 solo, while in episode 2 and 6 with Devivian, who wins this category, given that she was the top of the competition 5 times in episodes 1, 3, and 4 on her own, and, as I've already mentioned, 2 and 6 with Baga. Here's the table as promised. The final category of who had the best storyline is the most debatable by design, but I feel like for this season there was clearly a queen that got a winner's edit, and that was Divina. Hear me out. She got both the underdog storyline, or rather the storyline of a queen that flounders in the beginning but finds her footing by the end, and also the same storyline that Jinx had on season 5. For this season, her Alaska talks were Baga, Devivian, and Crystal. Baga as the Alaska of the season, somebody who relies on her personality a lot, but is overshadowed by one thing. In Baga's case, it's her runways and her lack of style in general. In Alaska's, it was the fact that, it was Jinx's season to win, but also the fact that Sharon won the previous season. Devivian is the Roxy of this season. Somebody who's very confident, cocky rather, annoying at times, not really likable, but with a sad past who bickered non-stop with Divina. And Crystal is kind of like Detox, with their great runways. They were usually overshadowed by the other 2 queens in their clique. They were good at lip syncing, though the standards for being good at lip syncing for Drag Race UK and season 5 are very different. I would say with full confidence that we, the viewers, were shown that Divina is the potential winner of the season. So I'm giving her a win in this category, and I believe that she's going to win season 1 of Drag Race UK. Now, I'm posting this before the actual episode airs tonight, just so that my predicting skills can be properly tested, and also because I want to hear what others think on who the winner will be. Not who you want the winner to be, but who you think will win. I mean, I want Divina to win in the sense that I don't want Baga and Deviv to win, but had pretty much any other queen been in that top 3 with Divina and then Baga or Deviv, that third queen would have been my choice.